Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to another session of the Trial of Hearts. I am Maris Oram, your humble DM and host of this D&D campaign, and we're going to kick things off as we always do with a round of player introductions, starting in the top left corner. Sif, give it a go.
Gee, it's me, Sif_VT. You guys know me, Living Suit of Armor. I do art, I play games, I am working on animations while streams are on the back burner for a little bit. But yeah, we got a community art night this for the last day of November. We're gonna do harvest themed art, so feel free to stop by. And I'm very happy to be back again as Gwyn. I think I think for sure I can take the lawful evil tag off of him. Just gonna scrape that off. But yeah, little bird guy. That's all he is. Thank you.
Labels are meant to be exchanged, right? We grow, we develop. Yes. Nothing to see behind the multi-layers of this bird boy. Thank you, Sif. Moving on, we've got Lily.
Hello, everyone. My name's Lily. I am an artist that draws a lot of D&D stuff, as well as a DM for my own campaign, Mistwalker Spectre of Eternity. The first 13 episodes of that are up on my YouTube. It's a nice, fun, and gay time with a lot of good shenanigans and some horror. So if you like that, go ahead and check that out. But as for tonight, I am playing Topaz, who is a furbolg fashion designer that is somehow stumbling into success over and over again with that good old autistic Riz. So here's to likely more of that tonight.
Quite literally falling into success. Thank you, Lily. Next we have Vesper.
Hello, my name is Vesper. I'm the Bat of Fortune. I stream weekly, at least 2 to 3 times a week, sometimes 4. You can find me doing just about anything and everything. I'm variety incarnate. In terms of D&D, when I'm not here, I will soon be playing Phantoma, the bone-obsessed little freakazoid necromancer over on Chef Ryuga's channel in Heroes of Heterodoxy. And when I'm not doing that, I will be I am torturing Maris and Lily through actions of my past because I am the lore consultant over on Comet Tales.
I dish out pain in this campaign, and you give it in kind. It is the full circle of playing D&D with your friends. Thank you, Vesper. And last but never least, we have Aresima.
Hello, I'm ArestheHarpy. I am a Twitch streamer who does art and games and random stuff, and I make things, and I'm a giant ball of ruffled fluff and mania. And I'm playing Luella Stalwix, a Fae politician, of which there is no greater repute.
Indeed. Thank you all very much. We'll start off with just a quick recap of the ongoings of last session. So, first and foremost, Topaz sought out a final conversation with Captain Wild, where the two exchanged a heartfelt admission of fondness for each other, though Wild's feelings appeared to run deeper than Topaz's. And feeling guilty, Topaz apologized, but Wild assured them that no matter what, he valued their friendship above all else, and he was content enough to see Topaz happy. They parted on friendly terms, but Topaz couldn't help but reminisce on times past when Wild was once the object of her affections. Meanwhile, Oleander stopped by Damus's room, informing him of their group's plans to travel to the capital, a notion that Damus was hesitant to agree to. He confided in Oleander that his master Cassian was expecting him and he should return to him, even in failure. Speaking of Cassian the Sage, Oleander procured a book of portraits from Dame Leonora's library, and together they pored over the portraits of Cassian and the Celestial Court's past, only to make the harrowing discovery with Damus's confirmation that his master is, in fact, Cassini, the exiled betrayer of the Celestial Court who devoured the heart of a star. Investigating further following their suspicions of the royal family, Oleander noted a distinct, uncanny resemblance between the 3 generations of kings. The lack of family portraits, as well as portraits of Marius and Bastian as children, led them to suspect something rather unbelievable. Cornelius, after slaying Isolde, has been masquerading as his own descendants, using pieces of her heart to sustain his youth and eternal reign. The following day, Topaz received a missive from Dame Leonora, meant to be delivered to her sister Diamond, who is to play host to the party in the capital. But he just couldn't resist taking a peek at what the dame had to say, only to find out that she and Diamond were very likely previously, shall we say, involved with each other. Gwyn wrote a pair of flirtatious notes to both Essie and Topaz, the latter of whom misunderstood its intention and stormed up to Gwyn's room demanding clarification. Many eyes witnessed the scene, which will surely not aid them with the rumors they've attempted to dispel about themselves. Needing to clear his mind, Topaz sought out Luella, wanting to catch up. They discussed their disappointment to be leaving Hololight, pondering their reasons for competing, which Luella answered cryptically, keeping her motivations close to her chest. Topaz asked if Luella ever planned to cash in the many favors they owe her, which the Fae insisted they would, and soon, but Topaz couldn't help but feel that Luella's threats of impending collections were hollow. Topaz also admitted that they felt useless compared to the rest of their group, people with power, strength, and connections, and while Luella agreed that she views Topaz as a walking disaster, perhaps there was a hint of affection in such harsh words. Oleander, Essie, and Plague had a secret meeting in the gardens, plotting how best to smuggle Essie out of Hololight and into the capital. Plague made the arrangements, admitting that he had borrowed his father's coach, a magical vehicle with more space inside than it appears. Oleander provided Essie with forged traveling papers, and Plague offered to stay behind and appear as Essie with Dame Leonora's masquerade mask until all of the guests were gone. Approached by his old rival once more, Gwyn had a final conversation with Skalm, who was wondering what Gwyn's next move would be, and if he still felt tethered to the capital, or if he would seize this opportunity to walk away from it all. After one last jab at their past, Skalm begrudgingly clarified that he never wanted to leave Gwyn, but seeing how he withered at the capital was too painful to witness. In their own way, they reconciled with each other, each recognizing that they had misinterpreted the other's intentions, and parted on surprisingly amicable terms. As the guests of Hololight clamored towards their coaches and carriages, leaving the estate in droves, Oleander and Plague's man Beetle arrived at the carriage, and each party member climbed in, ready to depart, including Damus, who decided to accompany Oleander and the party, even in the face of imminent danger. Essie had successfully snuck aboard the carriage before the others, and greeted them, excited to begin their journey to the capital. And that, my friends, is where we will pick things up. We're in the same in-game day as the previous session, so rumors and reputations all remain the same, so whatever boons you had last session, you may keep them. But yes, you're in the carriage, you're on the way to the stop of Cloverhaven, which acts as a nice, convenient halfway point on the 2-day journey to the capital. The gang's all here, and Oleander, you figure that now in your father's private coach, you know that security is good, there are definitely no hidden bugs in here because your father would not permit such a thing. I think this would be a good opportunity to rally the troops, so to speak, and alert them towards your discoveries.
Okay, but first,
Yes?
because I know, I would like to make an investigation check to make sure my very lovely, very intelligent, but too curious for her own damn good sister is not on the goddamn carriage.
I would say, make me that investigation check, and I will give you advantage on that because you, by now, know all of her tricks.
17.
17. She's not here.
Okay. I had to stay in character. That'd be something Oleander would do.
So y'all see Oleander just crawling around, checking under the seats, flipping up the seat cushions, checking all the secret compartments that are in the interior of this carriage.
Is this not a safe space?
It is. I have a sister.
I have a sister too, but I don't go around just looking for her under cushions.
Lapis starts looking under the cushions too.
I'm not under there.
What I mean is she's very insatiably curious, and having known her all my life, if she saw this carriage leaving, she would have definitely found her way onto it somehow. But could everyone well, hold on. And right after Oleander says this, he's like, I'm going to need everyone to meet me in the dining hall. And he's going to immediately go into the dining hall and set up all the books. He's still keeping from Dame Leonora. And because I need them for plot purposes. But
stealing's okay if it's for the plot.
Always.
He sets up the books, and he sets up the dagger, his dagger, and he asks for everyone to come into the dining hall across these two mushed together tables.
Yeah, I presume, Damus, of course, will head in there. He's probably helping you to set things up. And Essie will filter into the dining car, and Lapis will follow Topaz's lead, so...
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't want to wait on this for too long. As either I waited and we were all too shocked when we got into the capital, or I say it now and everything for the next 2 days has this kind of dread around it. And then Oleander kind of looks over to Lapis specifically, and he gives this very somber smile, and I have to apologize to you mostly because I'm throwing you into the deep end of all this, Lapis.
She kind of quirks a brow at you and just, if we're going to be talking about conspiracies, Topaz has already filled me in on everything you all are doing, so I don't think there's much that could surprise me anymore.
Oleander gives a quick look to Davis and then another quick glance to Essie.
Damus gives a very, pinched expression at, Lapis saying, I don't think anything can surprise me anymore, because he's like, ooh, ooh, doubt, I definitely think she can.
Well, there is mostly two things. I will start with the one I feel 100% on that is true. And he mostly, looks towards Essie, because this is mostly, dealing with the third trial. With the third trial, Damus informed me that his deal maker, as I assume all of us had our deal makers, these people who wanted to trade our current positions, our current standings in the trials for something guaranteed. Well, Demus's deal maker was supposed to be Sage Cassian. However, Demus spoke to me after the trial that his Sage Cassian did not look or sound like he did in the trial. I kind of put this in the back of my mind for a moment, and it wasn't until the events of the masquerade I decided to ask Essie about it. And I figured, I made the assumption that it was a little more complicated than it was, but no, it was just illusion magic. And Oleander kind of like looks between the Demus and Essie. And the thing is, Essie's illusion of Sage Cassian was correct. It's just that Demus's Sage Cassian was not Cassian at all. And Oleander kind of moves his hand to the center of the table where the portrait of Cassini is very prominently displayed. Demus's tutor, his master, is none other than the deceiver, the star devourer, Cassini.
Essie's eyes kind of widen a little bit in recognition of this fact that you are presenting, and looks at the portrait because he worked so hard on that third trial to make sure the illusion was just right for everybody. He studied the portraits of Cassian, and looking at the portraits of Cassian and at the portraits of Cassini, and then looking at Demus just kind of sinks into his chair and is very decidedly but awkwardly avoiding eye contact with Essie, particularly in this moment. And Essie looks back at the portrait, sensing Demus's discomfort. Well, that would explain my mistake, then.
Oleander kind of like gives like a little sigh. Is like, I think we all had our doubts a little, but it's been confirmed now.
So that Cassini he's real?
Well, he's real, all right. I just presumed... well, that he had faded out.
I mean, that legend goes back a long time. How many stars must he have eaten?
Well, you really only need the one. One heart gives you immortality.
And you can always take small bites.
Essie perks up at that and looks at you with this furrowed brow. Pardon?
as me and Damus were speaking, he mentioned how one might be able to stay immortal slowly over time. I presume this information is from Cassini himself, but also, and he tries to only glance at Damus out of the corner of his eye, but he puts his hand on Damus's. We can infer through Damus's experiences as someone who absorbed a star himself, can we not assume one can slowly elongate their life like that of druids?
An interesting notion. Essie goes quiet for a moment as he considers this. I suppose that making the heart last as long as possible would prevent one from aging too much. After all, using magic on borrowed time takes a toll on the body. Damus, would you say that after your, shall we say, bloodletting, your master appears rejuvenated? And Damus is still not able to look Essie in the eye, but he does nod at this. Then I suppose that whatever heart he had has run its course, perhaps.
Before I continue, does anyone have any questions about Cassini?
I'm sorry, my mind's kind of stuck on something. How did you get in, Damus? Get into the trials?
I had a invitation that I was supposed to give. Something that was given to my master to give to Dame Leonora.
So, then who
Marked
gave
with
it
the royal seal.
Topaz turns at Luella, just wide-eyed, so the royal family gave the historied boogeyman of all witchcraft an invitation to a trial.
Rather interesting, isn't it?
Very much so.
Indeed.
I guess I should go ahead and go straight into the second half of this. While me and Damus were looking at the portraiture of Cassini, and Oleander he displays the pictures, we noticed something interesting. That from King Marius on, there's not any portraits of Marius or Bastion in their youth. Only them of being young men onwards, them in their 20s onwards. And Oleander kind of like points out these specific portraits across the table. And there's not really any family portraits of them with their alleged children. Can you all notice something? And Oleander kind of like points everything out.
I think I'm beginning to see what you're hinting at.
The boogeyman is king of the land.
No, he couldn't be. If Damus Master's always there, then
Oh no, I did. You didn't tell me. Hold on, wait. Does Cassini look like Cornelius?
No.
okay.
No. No. Cornelius, the similarities end with the fact that they both have dark hair. Cassini was a half-elf, with very, hawk-like angular features. Cornelius was like sort of storybook-esque handsome, dark hair and a beard, as he grew older, very tall and broad, so very, very physically different.
I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but Cornelius, Marius, and Bastion might all be the same man.
Essie is currently flipping through the portraits, and kind of in a similar fashion to what you did previously, Oleander, is like flipping, like fingering the 3 pages and like flipping through the portraits back and forth and back and forth. And his expression grows stormy as this realization sits in. This is... I knew that something had to have happened to her. I had my suspicions that he was responsible, but to use her heart like this... it's unforgivable.
And why would he do that? They were husband and wife. He had everything. He had
When
her
you have
heart.
when you have everything, you tend to find it hard to let go.
Why would they let go?
Perhaps
I mean, it's
things
like-
weren't a storybook as people were led to believe.
Plus, there is what we found earlier, Essie, and Oleander brings out his journal with the... Hold
The
on,
note.
it's all the way up here. Yes. And this might help. And I will read out the note. I understand your decision. You will be safe with us at the capital. My heart will always belong to you. C. Originally, this could have been from Cornelius, but for those of us who don't know, Cyrus was at the last trial of hearts alongside his brother Cornelius. And while I don't have any proof, who knows who actually won Isolde's heart? And he like passes the note around the table, let everyone see it.
I have my own assumptions, of course, but it's difficult to say.
I'd be willing to hear at this current moment, we have speculation, but we don't have proof, so it does not hurt to speculate more.
Do we not have proof? As he's going to take the book of portraits and show the picture of young Cornelius in his prime, likely just before going to the Trial of Hearts, flipping to the later portrait of him and Isolde, and then the one after, like the kingly portrait. Do you not notice something about good Cornelius in these three portraits? Something that should not be happening for one who has won the heart of a star.
You said last time, just confirming, that he was aging while alive.
Indeed.
Oleander's eyes do go right. Wait, that's true. He is aging.
Curious, isn't it?
It's not much of a storybook romance then, I suppose. Then why would she have said yes to him then?
I don't know.
That is something we're going to figure out, I think, as a part of this mystery. Although it's not much of a mystery anymore.
I was about to say, it seems like you've been spearheading this little part of our adventure.
Putting pieces together when you finally have them all is not that hard, it's just daunting. And Oleander gives a very somber smile, but this does mean some other things that I would like to talk about. I'm not sure where to start, so best start with things that might be out of our control. With the discovery that Cornelius, Bastion, Marius are all the same person, and with both Essie and Damus's existences now known, especially to him, I do believe Queen Calpurnia, Alto and Adora might be in danger.
It's
In danger, how so?
You know how Queen Papaya died of childbirth? Why would she die of childbirth if there was no child to birth?
She was just a pawn then, to give the appearance of giving birth to the next generation.
Yes. With...
Convenient.
Continue.
I was just saying, awfully convenient to have someone die in childbirth if there was never a child to be had.
With both Essie and Damus on the field, King Bastion, and Oleander does a little air quote around Bastion, might be a little more uncaring about the safety of his wife and children. Alto and Nador are in particular danger first, because Queen Caliponia has to wait until she's pregnant again.
If they posed any threat to him, I imagine someone as monstrous as he is would not permit them to survive infancy, let alone childhood, adolescence, adulthood. Why keep them alive at all?
It might have been that he only... It might have been that he was, It might have been that he's already ran out of Isolde's heart. I hate to be blunt about that, but... He might have realized he can't continue his reign, so... He let...
He wouldn't be able to keep up appearances anyway. He would start to age eventually. Although, to age this rapidly, and she points to the last, he points to the last portrait of Marius, where he is quite haggard. This is unnatural. He must have tried using some magics or other to perhaps alter his appearance. Something. He would not age this quickly.
It does... I don't want to go off topic too much, but... There might have been a reason why Sage Cassian left the royal court. But I don't want to go onto a tangent right now.
Of course, please continue.
And as we were talking about Cassian having the royal seal and giving that invitation to Damus, if we have one Star Eater of the past and one Star Eater of a current time, one might reach out to the other when another star falls in search of necessity, camaraderie.
Share the
Let us-
spoils, you think?
Yes. Right now, Cassini is likely living off of Damus's falling star, though we won't know how long that will last. Especially since Damus is not a star himself, he was instead gifted the powers of a star. Gifted the blood. So we don't know how long that will last, in turn working with his biological system, and it's magic that I don't really know much of. Not anybody does. And Oleander kind of like squeezes Davis's hand a little as he says this. What worries me is that if both of these black-hearted deceivers are working with each other, there's absolutely no reason for them to trust each other, and they could turn on each other at any moment.
I'd be willing to bet that both of them are certainly considering it. Why share a heart when you can have the whole thing?
Exactly.
The lineage of... Oh, God. I feel like I'm putting on my my conspiracy hat, but specifically in the ways that I've read books about this sort of thing. Alto, his sword was missing. So, that sword was from Cornelius back in that day. Did we ever figure out if that was a crystal sword?
Believe we did.
Yes, that was actually headed by Luella the day of the masquerade, if I actually remember correctly.
Oh. Oh. Well, then this isn't news. I am...
Well, to be fair, we also haven't told Essie that. No, wait, Essie was there. Hold on, that was our character.
Topaz was the only one that was not a part of that.
Topaz and Essie. I mean, Topaz and Davis.
So, I mean, that assassination attempt. Gwyn, you think it was one of the siblings, right?
I mean, logically they're the prime suspects, but I don't think they would willingly choose to do such a thing.
What if it wasn't willing?
Exactly.
I did notice Adora being rather desperate under certain circumstances.
I talked to Alto the following day. And, I mean, maybe I'm wrong about him, but I like to think I can read people pretty well. I don't think he did it. If he's gotten in my head and manipulated me in that way, I'll take that loss, but I don't think it was him.
Well, as far as we know, and I don't want to go off on too much of a side tangent, but I do think the attempted assassination on Essie's life is kind of an important thing we should solve.
My point in all this is saying that you were saying that you're worried for them. I'm saying they might be in on it. A
If they're in on it,
cast-from
they got-
father.
Desperation, a perfect murder weapon.
I don't think it's quite so socially engineered as desperation. I mean, we already have someone who clearly has manipulated the royal family to his benefit. Surely, in a realm of magic, it wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility to think that he more enchanted them or controlled them.
But they
Sure,
are
I think
also
the-
a family. Control is not necessarily acquired through magic in that instance.
I just can't imagine the princelings. They're too prideful for something like that.
Did you say the door is locked when you checked it, Gwyn?
Yes, and by the time when I had entered the room, the princelings were not inside. And Dora had come shortly after with her brother still missing.
Oleander kind of like thinks for a moment. If they were looking to frame the princelings, why would they bother locking the door after?
Well, I mean, if I came in right afterwards, there wouldn't be much time for them to run away. Because they locked the door, it took me a moment to open it, enter the room, and by the time I've entered, they have already absconded out the window and become a mere silhouette in the gardens below. If the door was unlocked, I could simply get a more clear look at their silhouette, at who they were.
With Alto, his sword was the one that was shattered. You said you saw glass there. Someone either took it from him out of trust or stole it, which I find hard to believe considering it's his most prized possession. If he didn't admit to it, that means he knows who took it.
It looks like the princelings are still our prime suspect in that.
I don't know if it was them being controlled by nobody, but I don't think I'm good for this conversation. I have biases for Alto and what I think about him, and I think that's clouding my judgment.
Well, we can say for sure that it was an inside job and it was not done by a professional. It was done in the heat of the moment. If it was planned poorly and on that day, probably. Oleander kind of just like rubs at his temples.
Either way, it'll be difficult to solve that particular mystery now that Dame Leonora has opened the gates of Hololight again. Whoever it was could just disappear. Wait for everything to blow over.
Fortunately, we have a pretty good idea of who it wasn't, so I'll take that as a win. But I do think that Cassini and Cornelius have a very delicate relationship. Both of them are aiming for your heart, Essie. Which is why which leads me to this, I want to make a security suggestion.
I am all ears, believe me.
Well, I doubt any of us will be leaving you alone for too long, but I make this suggestion out of fear for both you and Damus, as Cornelius likely already knows what you look like and your existence. And Cassini already knows Damus, and I'm not sure of Cassini's particular specialities in magic, but it might be better for you and for Damus if both of you are together. You have at least one of us with you, as we don't know if Cassini can teleport straight to Damus, and it's likely that there will be royal eyes on us as soon as we get into the royal city, and well, Alto is the king's son. Adora is the king's daughter, and both of them have mouths. So, for you and Damus' sake, if both of you are together, you have at least one of us there with you. As Cornelius will likely try and grab Damus, as well as you, to either prolong his years farther beyond than he thought, or to waggle Damus and you in front of Cassini. See if he can milk Cassini for more items, more witchy objects, more artifacts that might help him. And if Cassini gets a hold of you and Damus, well, we know what's going to happen.
A chilling prospect, to say the least.
And Oleander kind of just like sits himself down and like leans in closer to Damus and just kind of like more or less wraps his arm around him in like a comforting way.
Damus has been, very quiet, throughout all of this. He's been the more that you talk about the possibilities, as soon as you said, like, maybe he can teleport to wherever Damus is, he just pales. Like, this is something he had not considered at all. And now he's like, oh no, have I put this whole thing in jeopardy just by being here? So he's definitely very quiet. But you can still, like, see the wheels in his head turning as just anxiety churns through him.
Once we get into the Royal City, I will see about getting both of you things that will prevent clairvoyance and other such things, though Dame Leonora might get angry at me for that, but we need to take precautions.
I think, in light of the situation, Dame Leonora would forgive such a measure.
Alright, as further security, and Oleander, maybe this might be a little too lightening, too much levity. Oleander pulls out his Artemis mask again. Did we all keep these as souvenirs?
Yet another thing you appear to have stolen from Dame Leonora.
Would now be a bad time to say that I stole a book as well? Holding up the book on Isolde.
My. She will be cross with you.
But no, Furbolgs have a natural innate ability to shift forms, so I didn't find it necessary.
Oleander kind of like looks over to anyone else, see if they kept their masks.
Damus shakes his head.
Oh, I'm the only bad influence around here, aren't I?
You're a thief. That's known. I suppose the rest of us are just goody two-shoes.
Well, you all have reasons to be goody two-shoes. I do not. Oleander kind of like puts the mask on the table and slides it over to Essie. It's fairly well known that I'm Artemis now. This might be better worth in your hands.
I see. I will keep it. Just in case. Although, Topaz, I believe you also said you had a artifact?
Patch of disguise?
Yes.
Many layers to the illusion.
Indeed.
It's rather useless for me. But if someone can guess that you're not me, well, then that'll be a little bit of a surprise.
Is the royal family like you, Oleander?
Oleander takes a sip of some nearby tea.
Then I'd be kind of worried about him dressing up as someone they don't like either. I mean, yeah, they may not try and stab out his heart, but...
Well, they have to guess if it was was me or not. If they said it was Oleander, that mask isn't going to work.
I'm making
It's
myself
only-
queasy.
It's only in case of emergencies. In case SE really needs to get out, but needs to be someone else. Artemis might be a little bit too flashy, but it'll work in a pinch.
Mm.
Oleander, like, heaves a great sigh. I was like, okay, did I have anything else? Oh, yeah. And he, like, flips. Oh, I'm sorry. This has caused me a lot of tribulation. These discoveries. And Oleander, like, kind of, like, brings up another page of his book, and so I figured to maybe help in this mystery, and I'm going to post this in so I figured we're going to need a little more proof. I know that seeing King Cornelius' age is rather damning, but the personal accounts, correspondences, accounts of crystal smiths, like what we can grab, we should grab. And I think, and Oleander kind of like sighs, anything we can get of Queen Isolde, particularly during the Trial of Hearts and near the Ascension, might help. Anything that can indicate why Sage Cassian left during Marius's rule, may help. And even though I think they'd be under particular lock and key, accounts, correspondences, diaries, journals, whatever we can get of King Cornelius, Marius, Bastion, whoever this man is at this point. Anything by him would be amazing. And I'm not 100% sure. And Oleander kind of like looks at it on the list, but I have a feeling Queen Poppaea may have known something. I mean, if you are married to a king and then you and that king do not consummate your marriage, and you do not have a child, you might start to get suspicious of what's happening around you. And I have a feeling Queen Poppaea's accounts may be a little less protected than, say, Queen Isolde's or Cornelius's.
This is all well and good, Oleander, and I don't disagree that such information would be exceedingly valuable, but where do you propose that we find these? I have to imagine that such information would be close to the chest of the king.
Well, we have... Hold on, I have a question for Deanne. Do I know whether or not Luella actually works in the castle, or is Luella in the office building next to the castle?
So, for clarification, like, there is, like, the castle proper, right? And then there's, like, buildings that are kind of on castle grounds, like, behind the castle walls, but are not, like, actually connected to the castle. That's kind of like what Luella works in. she's in very close proximity, but like not an actual part of like the castle slash fortress structure itself.
Well,
We'll likely have to do something
there is
exceedingly
we do-
dangerous to get our hands on such information.
Well, we do have someone who works in the castle, and Oleander kind of like looks at Gwyn.
Awfully convenient.
I'm not suggesting that Gwyn put himself into any danger, but if Gwyn happens to find himself in the libraries or personal chambers or somewhere the king might store pertinent information to that, well, we just happen to be lucky. But... And may I make a history roll?
Yeah, what about?
Do I know if Queen Popea came from like... Do I know where she came from? Did she came from like some know-nothing village or some shit? Like, is her family line still existing?
Yeah, make that history check. 19. So, as far as you know, it's not that like Popea popped out of nowhere. She didn't come from like a noble lineage, but she came from a wealthy one. There is a distinction. So she doesn't have like the title. It's not like he went out and, married a princess or a duchess or whatever. But he, Marius seemed to align himself with a very nouveau riche family. And that is where Popea came from. Her family was very sort of up and coming.
Well, diaries might be a little bit hard to get a hold of, but we might be able to get letters if the people who have them still have them.
You certainly
might be
seem
able-
to be quite interested in I don't imagine the personal affections and correspondences of people are for public consumption. Might need a thief to do something like that.
Good that we have one then.
Oleander kind of like crosses his arms. I get what y'all are saying.
I'm just saying, if someone... I certainly don't want any random person to be able to read my letters after I go.
Hopefully, Queen Popea's family still has her letters. Maybe.
But why would they give them to you?
That is true. I don't have the greatest reputation among historians. However, I know some who are much better with people. I also know, and only kind of like smiles, I also know someone within wealthy lineages who might help. And I've been
Sounds
taking
like-
care of her kids.
Sounds like you're going to be a busy man when we get to the capital.
Yeah, I have to immediately check in with the Rogues Guild when I get there. I'm going to be very busy.
Well,
And I'm sorry, Essie, but I do have some other ideas I do have.
please.
However, I think this one might be dangerous, but there's an Oleander kind of like, I don't think I have any way of walking around this. With the idea that Cyrus's entire assassination was something performed by King Cornelius, one has to wonder what the Children of the New Dawn have a say on it. Maybe if I can find their remnants, I can learn a little bit of the truth of what happened back then.
That's all well and good, except for the fact that Cornelius wiped them out. So far as we know, anyway.
So far as we know, but how long have we been proven about history over the past, 30 minutes?
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to look.
And I would like to know where the hell Cassini has been for the past few millennia.
Well, we know
But
where he's
that's-
been for at least the last, looks at Damus, 14 years, perhaps?
I don't think we're ready to handle him just yet, as much as I want to. As much as I want to go and take care of that myself, I'd rather be ready. I'd rather be prepared, which I'm not.
Right. This was a lot to take in, but thank you, Oleander, for your continued investigative efforts.
I apologize for any negative feelings or dread that everyone is currently experiencing.
It's difficult to express how I feel in this moment. And frankly, I think it would be best to wait until we reconvene at Diamonds, perhaps, to formulate our plan, because at the moment, I must admit, my judgment feels a bit clouded by emotion.
Hold on one sec. Oleander goes into the kitchen. I presume there's a kitchen in this dining car.
There's it's not like a full kitchen, but there's a counter space with some, crockery and whatnot. But yes, it's quite small though.
Brandy or wine, Essie?
Brandy, please.
Oleander gets the brandy in a glass for everyone.
You're a darling, Mr. Oleander. Thank you.
It might be a little early, but I think we all deserve it.
Indeed. And unless anyone has any further questions or comments about this heaping pile of information, you all sip on your brandy, contemplate what is to come, and you journey on to Cloverhaven. Topaz, did you want to read your book now?
I do, especially given what we've learned.
Yeah, so you have a book in your possession that you stole from Dame Leonora's library, much like Oleander did with his portraiture books. And this one is about Isolde's reign as queen. As you're sort of flipping through it, there's a lot of text. kind of skimming through it. Make me a history roll with advantage to see what you absorb from this book.
Okay. I'm very okay at this. That's
21. Easy
It's pretty solid.
peasy. Easy
Yeah?
peasy. You are laser focused. You are not daunted by long paragraphs. So,
Absolutely not.
so as you're reading, the major points that you pick up are that, some things you already knew. Isolde was very devoted to the poor and unfortunate populations of Wishbourne. She did a lot of charity work. She opened schools for children, particularly in low opportunity areas on the outskirts of Wishbourne. She never ventured out beyond the wall, as far as anyone can tell. But she did, travel throughout the country to set up these schools and improve the, otherwise not so great educational system. As you are reading about, her charitable exploits, there is also mention of Prince Cyrus helping her in these endeavors as well. And he contributed a lot of, finances to, her projects and undertakings. He also sort of acted as the how do you say, like, poster child, so to speak, for this project. Because the two of them were much beloved by the people. So with his combined support, they gained a lot of attention and traction for their charitable projects. It's also noted that, because they worked, so close together, that after Cyrus's assassination, Isolde appeared in public less and less. So this was during a time when Cornelius was waging war against the witches. It wasn't safe for a star to be traveling through Wishbourne. And it was reported that, that aside, she just took Cyrus's death very hard. And unlike the action-driven Cornelius, who actively worked to avenge Cyrus, she secluded herself in her grief and made fewer and fewer public appearances. And as you're reading this, you're noticing this pattern, this trend. Isolde loves children. She loved children throughout the duration of her reign, and most everything that she did was for the future generation of Wishbourne. So you find it curious that when it starts to talk about her ascension back to the heavens with Cornelius, that her son, Marius, her infant son, mind you, was left behind.
I think just while the cabin is just kind of quiet, Topaz is reading over this. And just... I don't know how to roll if this is like an insight check on words. But like
reading between the lines.
Reading between the lines, yeah. Of like, Isolde was most happy when Cyrus was around. And just thinking about that in the frame of the letter, the unknown sea.
What
It's just
kind of role would that be?
It's like, I was like, I don't know if you can insight check a book, but...
Is this the first edition?
Yeah. Let's call this a general, like, intelligence check.
Okay.
To sort of, are you taking these words at face value? Or, are you sort of extrapolating your own theories from this?
That's a natural
A
20.
nat 20.
This is my fucking shit.
You
Saucy drama.
listen. You are reading this text about Isolde, Cornelius, Cyrus. The pieces are falling in place. You have read so many romance books. Countless. You have developed the patterns, the pattern recognition in literature for any kind of, romantic story, right? You are convinced, whether it's true or not, you are convinced that Isolde and Cyrus were in love.
Quiet of the cabin, Topaz just speaks up. Isolde and Cyrus were in love.
As he just kind of perks up with his brandy glass, like, oh?
I mean, I'm sure of it. There's no way it's what they meant, but Cyrus was always the one to help her out on her escapades with the children. They always were by each other's side. She was sad after he passed, sadder than usual. This is textbook affair stuff.
You believe that my sister, while married to the king, had an affair with his younger brother?
I know I went on about how it's not very storybook. This is storybook.
As he just kind of ponders for a moment and leans back in his seat, takes another sip of his brandy, and just... That makes sense why poor old Cornelius was aging.
He never loved him. Oh, that's too good. No, see, if you look here, there's this portrait of them at the church, at the schools that they constructed, and there's just this big old smile on her face. Then you look over here, points to the portraits of Isolde and Cornelius. That smile ain't as wide. And the note, he said that that note that you found, Oleander, said something that they loved that the C character loved her.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So what happened? No, exactly.
Exactly was my heart will always belong to you.
Mm-hmm.
See.
And so what happened was, and I'm just speculating, this is my romance novel brain going off, so just this is speculation. But what happened was they were out having a good time without Cornelius. Cornelius got jealous of their relationship. Then after that, Cornelius assassinated Cyrus, blamed it on the witches' cult, and then from there, after Isolde's energy faded, decided, well, she doesn't love me, so I'm not going to be immortal, and the only way to sustain immortality that I've wanted so much is to engage in some witchcraft. It connects, doesn't it?
As he looks at you with it's like a cross between a pained and bemused expression, just gives you a tight smile. Perhaps I should read more romance books.
highly recommend it. There's some good ones, some gothic ones that might be applicable for this. They tend to engage in a lot of stranger things.
I mean to say that I'm impressed that you put all of this together.
And you said you had nothing to bring.
I never would have expected this. No, listen, it just reminds me of some of those kind of gothic romance novels. I don't know how to explain it.
Why marry him in the first place?
Another mystery for the pile, I presume.
There's nothing in the book that has anything to do with, like, the trials part of her life, correct?
No, only the reign itself.
Well, this book here only pertains to a life after the trials. Maybe I could find another one and see if I can work some magic on her life before then.
Hold on, I have a question. Does that book state whether or not she sent letters to the schools?
DM?
How, like, just that she corresponded with them, or?
Yes. Like she visited the schools, but
It
What I'm
doesn't.
saying
It
is-
doesn't. It doesn't specify if she wrote letters to them. I mean, one can assume maybe because it's impossible to like
yeah.
go, from place to place all the time to keep an eye on things. But she did make frequent visits. But one could realistically assume that yes, she would have written to, the headmasters of the schools and whatnot. But it doesn't explicitly say so.
DM, I'm about to send out so many rogues to so many dilapidated schools.
Friendly reminder, most of these schools do not exist anymore.
What's the job, boss? We're gonna go reading through old archives.
But one last thing. Isolde loved kids. It's very explicit in here. She loved kids. Surprising she never had one. I'm gonna reread over this again. It's kind of nice to feel like I might have contributed something.
Yes, do let us know if you find anything else. And you see Essie is kind of looking over the portraits again, but more specifically, he's not hiding it very well. He is definitely lingering on the pictures of Isolde.
Just one last thing from Topaz, just call out to Essie and just say, she seemed like an amazing person. Cared for the world a lot.
She loved humans. That's why she left. All right. With that, your trip continues. And unless anyone has anything else to say, you make it without further event to Cloverhaven. As you pull into this town. Town might be too strong of a word, actually. It is definitely more of a village. It's a quaint setting with a few, rows in its main town center of Tudor-style buildings, wood paneling, old brick, that kind of architecture. And the town is surrounded by acres, fields of clover. And you can, as you get closer to the city, you can even, from inside your carriage, hear this thrumming, consistent buzzing, because there are countless apiaries scattered throughout the fields of clover, and there are just bees everywhere, doing what bees do with the freshly blossoming clover, gathering pollen, making honey, so on and so forth. The buzzing of bees can be heard pretty much everywhere. As you get into the village center, you see that you are definitely not the only ones here, much like there were a lot of carriages present as everyone was leaving Hollowlight. Seems like all of those carriages are now congregating here in Cloverhaven and are surrounding the singular village inn. And if you would like, you can make your way through there and see about accommodations for the night.
There's only
Dungeon
gonna be-
Master,
Yes.
take us to the inn.
Yes, you may go to the inn. Yeah, so the inn is a very, just picture like the most quintessential ye old tavern / inn, and that is what this place is. It is a place titled the Prince's Camp. The inside is very warm, very cozy. However, it is now bustling with activity. One might say, frankly, overcrowded with all of these Hollowlight guests that are now here. You can... Yes.
I'm just imagining that there was someone at like the bar who saw like 6 people walking in and went, "Oh God, not more."
Yeah, yes, basically, you do, as a matter of fact, see one human man. He's got red hair, little spectacles. He's seen shuffling about. You can presume this is one of the tavern keepers. He's serving drinks. He's super flustered. He's handling complaints from people. He is just, frazzled and doing his absolute best to keep up with this, all of this activity. There is a fire going on in the hearth, and just above the mantelpiece, you also see, speak of the devil, there's a very large portrait of Prince Cyrus, above the hearth, and he's got his characteristic charismatic smirk of a smile in this particular portrait. But you can also see behind the I guess the counter, so to speak, a large furbolg woman who is equally frazzled as the man, running around through the crowds, and she's got a small gathering of 4 or 5 people all trying to talk to her at once. You can presume this is the other tavern keeper. So if you want to, get accommodations, I suggest you talk to either of them. But also, as you're looking around, you see a lot of familiar faces. These are people from Hollowlight. The ones that you can easily pick out from the crowds. Parthenia is here, Cecil is here, and Jonas and the 2 Lockharts are here, Cordelia and Harriet.
I imagine Topaz just elbows Lapis and says, "You can go talk to her."
Lapis looks at you, and she's been awfully quiet this journey, and she just kind of looks at you, and her gaze is almost a little distant. It's not very characteristic of her at all to be this low energy. And she just kind of shakes her head and she goes, I'm not really feeling up to it right now.
I suppose that's fair. I'm sorry.
I mean, we can talk about it later, but it's
A lot.
a lot. I said I wouldn't be surprised, but well, I'm color me surprised. She kind of looks over at a Cordelia, and it seems like the two make eye contact, but both are silently agreeing to not acknowledge the other.
The girls. They have to have an okay ending.
Who are the people bothering this poor innkeeper who has never dealt with rich people before? I kind of want to know.
So a couple of people you don't immediately recognize, you can assume that they are, servants, assistants, attendants of, the actual people who were, competing at Hollow Light. However, Cecil is up there and Harriet is up there bothering this poor woman.
Is it somewhere in my job description for me to go up there and get the... We didn't agree on who would get the rooms.
Gwyn, do you think they might give you a special treatment for being a member of the military?
Military discount.
I don't believe, with so many of the guests of the house are staying here, I'm sure the staff has been overwhelmed, people claiming some sense of authority. I'd much rather not add to the scene.
My carriage is comfy enough if there's not enough room, but...
I'm certain they have at least one room left over.
I'd rather wait for all that to die down before we bother the poor woman. I think I will catch up with Parthenia for a moment. And he kind of turns to Parthenia and gives a little wave and walks over to her. We don't have to RP that right now, but
Yeah. She'll give you a wave of recognition. She is she's quite calm compared to the chaos kind of surrounding her. There's a little bar area that's an offshoot of the main hall of the tavern, and she's just chilling. She's got a drink in her hands, just kind of watching the chaos unfold. She looks pretty calm. One might presume she's already got a room booked, unlike everybody else.
She got here before everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to hang out with her. I'm gonna wait for all of that to die down.
All right. You hang out with Parthenia. Anyone else want to do anything?
Someone's got to go talk to the innkeeper.
Allow me. But I will not be exemplifying my rank here.
Sure.
I think there are enough people doing that.
It's in jest, I promise.
Gwyn, which one do you approach? Do you approach the human man or the furbolg woman?
Who? I'm assuming they're both swamped, right?
They're both swamped. You will be inconveniencing one of them.
Furbolgs can turn invisible, so she'll dip if she gets really upset. I'm gonna go talk to the human man.
All right.
I know what you are. I know what you'll do if you get overwhelmed.
All right. Yeah, so he is sort of scuttling about. He's got a tray. He's handing out drinks. He's, very flusteredly, talking to people. He's kind of red in the face as, he's getting, warm in the crowded space, flustered, and notices you approaching and just, sorry, sir. We're kind of swamped here. Still happy to help you though. My name's George Oakley. Welcome to the Prince's Camp. What can I do for you?
Greetings, Oakley. Thank you for having myself and my friends here at your place, at your establishment. We were particularly wondering if there were any rooms left for rent. I understand that there has been a recent unexpected increase in guests.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. My wife and I weren't expecting so many travelers. Not often we get so many people, but I understand the trials are ongoing not anymore, at Hollow Light. Definitely hearing all about that. People seem kind of mad. None of my business, but always happy to serve people, but if it's a room you're looking for, I'm afraid that we're fully booked, sir. I don't know if there's anything for it unless someone's willing to give up a room for you, but maybe someone would. My wife runs the books, though.
Would it be permissible for me to ask to see who has booked a room here? I mean, I'm familiar with many of the guests since I too was at the trials, but I understand if such information must be kept privy.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable divulging that information as to who's got rooms or not, but if you want to figure out a deal or something, I mean, there's people talking to my wife now. They're also trying to, I imagine, do the same thing.
I see. For now, though, I think I will return to my friends and inform them of the unfortunate situation, and if we need something, I presume, regarding the rooms, if any changes would happen, it would be through speaking with your wife, correct?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind, sir. She's the one in charge of the inn. I run the tavern, half of the business.
I see, and there's no possible other location that we could find shelter in. Stables, perhaps, or a storage room of sorts?
Oh, sir, I wouldn't. I couldn't possibly put you up in such humble settings. No, sir, no, but...
It's not a matter of humility. I find in times of crisis that we must make do with what we have, and unlike the various clientele here, I'm quite familiar with making do.
Well, if things don't work out with my wife Beatrice, if you can't come to some sort of arrangement with her, I'll do my utmost, but I can't promise you nothing.
I understand. But thank you for your help in any way, shape, or form.
Of course, sir. If you need a drink or anything while you're waiting, feel free to flag me down.
Mm-hmm. And then Gwyn will nod and return to the group to inform them. We should have a look at rooms. Your boy may have gotten stables unlocked, worst case, but I'm assuming that's not a good idea. And wifey has the books, so we'll need to talk to her and or convince people to leave and or get to the books and put our names in there over someone else's.
Surely there's gotta be some place to stay.
Well,
Luella's going to sigh.
Oh? Do you have an idea?
I happen to have some property nearby we could potentially stay at.
Topaz's eyes light up. Wait, your estate's here?
Luella gives Topaz a flat stare.
Was that wrong?
There would be ground rules, though.
Such as?
Best behavior, first and foremost. Secondly, no idle chit-chat about what is currently going on and current affairs. Otherwise, he will be sleeping in these stables. And I assure you, they have not been cleaned recently.
You're quite well aware of, you're quite well aware of the shenanigans we all get up to. But I promise not to do anything untowards you while we are there.
Are we gonna see your kids?
Yeah. Or to our apparent children.
Topaz is very excited.
I wonder if they look anything like me.
Immediately turns to Gwyn and gives him a stare of like,
And I
just said that wasn't true.
I hate to be this person.
Yeah.
How quietly are y'all talking?
I'm assuming
Luella's trying to stay quiet.
Luella is trying to stay quiet. Gwyn just said, I wonder if they look like me while talking to Luella, and it would be... The brat in him absolutely wants to be speaking at normal volume, but also the place is overcrowded. He would not, shout it out or anything.
Topaz, how about you?
You shouting, I thought that was just a river, would be hilarious.
I think Topaz has probably been, at least until then, has been louder than they probably should, just because they're excited.
Okay. Noted.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. But then picking up on everybody else, just like, should we leave to talk about this more?
Most likely, yes.
Okay. Just goes over to Gwyn. I thought that rumor wasn't true.
I never said it wasn't. The shit-eating
Big frown on her face.
You're a smart person. You can draw your own conclusions once we're there. I don't care to the idea of Topaz overcomplicating, overthinking things, then we just get there and they look nothing like Gwyn.
All right. So do you is that the plan then?
Before we go,
Yes.
before we go, I actually want to grab the waiter for a second. Me and poor thing, you probably aren't talking about anything important that needs to be role played. But all I wants to grab the waiter is like, hey, what's up with that Prince Cyrus portrait?
Oh. George will acknowledge you, take a handkerchief, wipe his face, he's sweaty and overworked, and he just, how good of you to ask, sir. That is our most proud aspect of our humble establishment. We are called the Prince's Camp for one reason only, but apparently, if my grandfather is to be believed, Prince Cyrus himself once stopped by our humble tavern, and he named it after him in his honor.
Lots of gears turning in his head. Oleander just, thank you for telling that story. It was quite interesting. And Oleander will like slip like like 5 gold to the man, because
Oh.
this man needs a tip even for doing nothing at this point.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you kindly.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, and if you don't have anything else to ask of him, he'll pocket the money and keep scuttling about.
Yeah, I'll see the others motioning us to leave, and I'll say my goodbyes to Parthenia and go over to them.
All right. So we are piling in the carriage once more.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll ask where we're going, and then I'll tell Beetle where the directions are.
All right. We hop into the carriage, and as you look out the windows, because you could still kind of see, into the, the outside world, in this magical carriage, you start to head through the acres of clover, and you come across a forest border. And, it starts off very sparse, few pines here and there, but the further you go, the more dense the woods become. The sun is setting, it's getting darker, the trees are growing thicker, and as you continue down this narrow forest path, it gets almost claustrophobically dark in this forest. And you hear the sounds of, forest night life, creatures, crickets, birds. But as you're going through this dense, dark forest, for anyone who might be looking out a window, go ahead and make a perception roll if you like.
Where's my perception?
Do I need to make one?
If you like.
Okay.
22.
Perception.
17.
21.
9.
9.
It's real dark out.
Yeah, it's real dark. Everyone except Gwyn, basically. As you're looking through the trees, your gaze shifts upward. You hear the slight crackle of twigs breaking above you. You look up, and within the canopy of trees, you each see 2 pairs of sharp, reflective eyes. Like, you know how cats' eyes sort of get reflective in the dark? It's very much like that. 2 pairs of them, seemingly watching your carriage go by, unmoving, just simply following your movements.
Looks over at Luella. Do you know? I assume that's your security?
Do I know what that is, Maris?
Luella, you know precisely what that is. These are...
Is it what?
These belong to 2 small individuals.
Okay. Something like that. You will see soon enough, I am sure. She's gonna kind of scowl out the window at the eyes.
You continue down the forest trail, and finally, a clearing is seen in this packed forest. And there stands the estate of White Blossom Grove, an aptly named abode for the surrounding clover patches with white flowers. It's a sizable country manor, also in a Tudor style, matching the rustic aesthetic of the village of Cloverhaven. Although this one is made of dark gray stone, unlike the brick and wooden structures that are in town. It's quite plain, not very frivolous, almost kind of intimidating and fortress-like. There are no grand gates or gardens save for the flowering clover. Ivy grows up the walls, the windows are either shuttered or have the curtains drawn. If you didn't know any better, one might assume the place was empty. But as the carriage pulls up, Beetle stops the carriage, allows you to exit the carriage. There is a light on, a lantern that is lit at the front door, and that's really your only indicator that someone is living in the house and is there currently.
Luella's gonna walk up to the door and then turn her back to it and just stare into the darkness, arms slowly crossing.
No response.
Oleander was told he has to inform play as soon as he finds the place that they were staying. So, which direction are we from Cloverhaven, DM?
You know, I didn't have a cardinal direction plan, so we'll say this is, a few miles west of Cloverhaven.
Alright, Oleander, activates the sending stone. We are in... Hold on, let me get out my fingers. I have 20 words, alright?
25.
25.
We're a few miles west of Cloverhaven. I think we'll be spending the night at Luella's place. Stay safe.
Okay.
You had leftovers.
You did. You receive a prompt response back, and you hear in Plague's voice through the sending stone, affirmative. See you soon.
So, and just this to Luella, are we waiting for something to happen?
Bella's looking noticeably grumpy.
Should I put down my bags?
No. Luella's going to open the door, and walk in.
So you walk in, and for all of its dark, foreboding appearance on the outside, the inside of the estate looks quite comfortable. It's well furnished, it's well lit, there's comfortable furniture, it's, nicely decorated. This is a nice house. And as you walk into the door and into the entrance hall, you hear footsteps approaching, and in the room walks a very large gray owlin woman. She stands about 7-ish feet tall. She's broad and large, the big round face with two small, unsettling yellow eyes in the center of her face. And she goes, back again. So soon? I didn't think that... Oh. She locks eyes on you, Luella. Miss Stalwix! I had no idea you were coming. This is your governess, Miss Lavinia.
I apologize for the lack of warning, but it was a last-minute decision.
Oh, of course. No, you and your guests, I presume, are more than welcome. I'll rouse the staff immediately to make the rooms prepared. Shall I gather the children?
No, I rather think that they will be here soon. They know we've arrived.
Ah, I see. I had them out doing their nocturnal hunting practice. If they saw you arrive, I'm sure they'll be here momentarily.
I am sure. Would you be so kind as to show the guests to the sitting room?
Of course. Please, if you all will follow me. You can leave your bags. Nash will take care of them. And with that, she will escort you all to the sitting room, if you follow her.
You.
Yeah, so you all make your way into the sitting room, find yourself with a very, comfortable room, plenty of seats, so no worries about finding a place to make yourselves comfortable. Shortly after you do so, you all hear the pitter-patter of little feet. And sure enough, in come bounding into the room 2 little owlin children, scruffy, a little dirty, kind of in that cute, ugly stage of owl life where they're like scraggly but kind of fluffy, but their heads are too big for their bodies and their eyes are like unsettlingly large. And they come bounding towards Luella excitedly and just mama, 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 and just launch themselves at her.
Luella has a grumpy facade for just a moment, but it's immediately gone as she catches them and just hugs and nuzzles into them.
They give you big hugs in return. They don't care that they're dirty and they're getting mud on you and twigs and leaves, and they're too gosh darn excited. And they nuzzle into you. Just we didn't know you were coming. We're so excited. We saw your carriage come in and we couldn't believe it, but you're really here.
I am, and it's so good to see you. Oh, I've missed you both.
We missed you too. And your daughter will pull away first, and she'll look up at you with this big grin. She'll go, Mom, look what I caught tonight. Look what I caught. And she's going to open her mouth, hawk up an owl pellet, and out comes this pile of bones of like a squirrel or something.
Still holding Revolin, she's gonna crouch down, examine the pellet, pat Esful. That is very good, sweetie. Although we do have guests.
Eswell's just gonna look, and as if she only just noticed that there are other people in the room, but she doesn't look like embarrassed. She looks over at the rest of you and gives a very practiced curtsy and just, hello, welcome to our home.
Oh, that's so precious.
That's so cute.
Revelin, meanwhile, is not paying any attention to you guys. He is solely focused on Luella. He's like, well, that's not as cool as what I got. I got something better. And Revelin is dressed in a large, oversized, clearly hand-knit sweater. It's way too big for him. This is definitely something that Lavinia made for him in the hopes he would one day grow into it, and that has yet to happen. And he is scrounging through his pockets, and he just pulls out all manner of like rocks and twigs and leaves and crumpled up flowers and just hands the lot of it to you.
Oh, I bet you were looking very hard for things as nice as these.
This one here, it's nice and shiny, and this flower here, it's a violet that I found in the woods, and this one here, this is an oak leaf, and he starts naming like each individual thing that's in your palm.
Oh God, my children are autistic.
My time. I suppose we should introduce ourselves too. And
Oh no, I want to see what else they pull out of their pellets.
oh, should I wait then?
I think introductions can be had in the morn. I think Luella has much time to be spent catching up.
It's nice to have people over, Eswell says, and she kind of tilts her head in that unnatural owl manner and just takes a look at all of you. We don't get grown-ups here.
Well, it's thank you for welcoming us into your home then.
These are some friends of mine that I made while I was away recently.
Topaz smiles at Luella and says, "Oh, we're friends."
With the amount of favors you owe her, then sure.
Don't push it, Gwyn.
Well, if you're friends with Mama, I guess you can stay.
Oh, I can't wait. Hello, my name's Topaz, and she'll just run over and just try and shake their little owl arms.
Eswell will give a very, grand gesture of extending her hand. Like, yes, you should be honored to shake my hand. Kind of floofs up a little bit as much as she can. Topaz? She walks over to Gwyn, does the same thing to you, extends a hand.
And we'll take it and, kiss it as if it were a noble woman and said, charmed, I'm Gwyn.
Gwyn. Walks over to Oleander. Mind you, this child is so small next to you. And just looks up at you quite fearlessly, actually. And, extends her hand up as far as she can possibly reach.
Oleander noticing this, will sit on the ground and will offer his hand, Oleander. And he'll shake her little wing hand.
She shakes her head. Your name's too long. Moves on to Damus.
Ollie could be a fun nickname.
Ollie. That's better. Goes on to Damus.
Luella's beaming with pride the whole time.
The whole time, Revelin is still showing you his rocks. But yes, she will do the rounds, say hello to each and every one of you, Damus, Lapis, Essie as well. Essie is just, he's been very sullen since, the conversations in the carriage, but for the first time, he actually gives, a little smile, seeing this, very puffed up little owl child, and he's very amused, by her. Lavinia at this point will return back into the sitting room and just, well, I had Nash take your bags upstairs to the guest quarters. I'm afraid, though, that we have only 3 guest rooms available. Miss Stalwix, your room is prepared as per the usual. I hope that it is not too inconvenient to ask Miss Stalwix's guests to share rooms.
That's entirely fine with me.
I can think of at least 2 who are willing to group up.
Her feathers sort of bristle a little bit at that comment of impropriety, but she doesn't say anything. She says, well, that's good then. Children, I think it's high time you get washed up and ready for bed yourself. Oh, we don't, but Mama just got here, and she will still be here in the morning. Please, let's get you cleaned up. They will begrudgingly peel themselves away from you, Luella, and follow Lavinia upstairs.
Luella will thank Lavinia as she leaves.
Well, they are utterly charming, Essie will say with a smile in your direction, Luella.
Are they not the most adorable little things you've ever seen?
They're so cute. I want to show Rivalan my gems later if he has such a fascination with rocks.
I'm sure
he'd
he
find
will
that fascinating.
very much be. He will be very interested. I am most assured.
Oh, this reminds me of home.
And now you can see that they do in fact not look like Gwyn.
No,
Alright,
they
that
are
wasn't-
they are very much Luella's children. They look very much like her.
I mean,
I suppose. Sorry, Red.
was more focused on them, but that's good observation.
Very well
Those
behaved.
rumors
It's been a while
were
since.
pure racism, you think, Luella?
Perhaps. Although I am rather cross that you haven't paid alimony in so long.
What? Not gonna have much more of this teasing.
Very well, Topaz. I am rather tired of the day's travels as well. I believe it is within all of our interests to retire for the evening, after all.
Luella, may I speak with Lavinia to handle Beetle before we all head to bed?
You may, but be gentle with Lavinia.
No worries. How shall we room? And Oleander says that, flicking his eyes between Essie, Gwyn, and Topaz.
What?
Lapis is gonna
Oh.
catch that knowing glance and wrap her arm around Topaz's. Very subtly.
Oh, I rather thought that Topaz would be going with Essie.
Wait.
I don't know why all of you are staring at young Topaz. I mean, when you said 2 people would be very likely to be rooming together, I thought we were all looking at Oleander and Damus.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
are we all
that's
looking at me?
They're all 2
That's
young
not a
bachelors
problem.
sharing a room.
Damus is beet red.
2 young bachelors sharing a room.
Please, Sir Gwyn, I beg of you.
There will be no
Oh, fine.
impropriety within this house.
No, of course not. We don't. I wouldn't. No, ma'am.
Although I do believe I can legally officiate a marriage, so
Why would you say that?
It's funny.
Well, it would not be improper if they were married, so.
That's true.
It would serve as a good example for her children.
Also, Sir Gwyn, I will not have you making moves on my daughter while you are in my home.
Perish the thought.
So I'll just be good with my sister then.
Well, goodness, Sir Gwyn, I guess that leaves you and I.
Topaz
will need
flushes
protection.
again.
Oh dear, you're turning practically green.
Well... just can't even think of a word.
Worry not, Topaz. Sir Gwyn has yet to sire a child in these halls, and he will continue to not do so.
That's not what I was thinking about in the slightest.
Are these rooms next to each other?
They are all kind of on the same side of the house. They're not like 1, 2, 3 next to each other in a row. One is on the first level, 2 are on the upper level.
So the walls aren't thin enough. Okay.
Enough for what?
Hey, yo. Just wait until you get to the rooms and, oh no, there's only one bed. What do we do?
Oh no, and it's so cold, we have to cuddle for warmth.
Heard removing one's garments increases body warmth.
But yes, I presume those are gonna be the, rooming arrangements. You can see, and hear movement from outside the sitting room, and you can see, a little, older goblin man, is actually, like, picking up your bags and, like, starting to take them upstairs, one by one. Luella, this is your butler, Nash. He is currently taking care of all the bags and moving them to the guest quarters.
I think Luella is going to start leading everyone to the guest quarters. Also thanking Nash along the way.
He gives you a nod. He doesn't talk, so he just nods his appreciation of your acknowledgement of his efforts. Well, yeah, you can make yourselves quite comfortable in your rooms. They do, in fact, have 2 beds, so no worries, my friends. Unless you absolutely want to share beds, I won't judge. But I think, as you get settled in, Topaz, Lapis is gonna pick up on your, particular demeanor right now. Just watching you kind of sulk in your room. And she's, dressed for bed, tucked under the covers, looking real comfy. And she just looks at you and goes, "Oh, for the love, just go."
I mean, I didn't want to leave you alone.
Yeah, but you're being so pathetic right now. It's not exactly comforting.
Like, still beat red, just looks over to Lapis like, are you sure? I mean, I don't know what to do.
Are you gonna
Would
be
it be
like this all night?
Maybe.
Yeah, then go.
Okay. I love you, sister.
Yeah, she'll roll over and pull the covers over her head.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Just sneaks out and goes over to the room that Essie and Gwyn are sharing and just does a soft little, very, very soft knock.
Gwyn will go up to the door and actually be on guard duty, kind of, and one hand on the blade as the other hand slowly opens the door ajar, and then a wave of relief hits as he looks down. Oh. Topaz. Is everything alright? Essie's still finishing night preparations, I believe.
You can see Essie is sitting at a vanity, slowly brushing out his hair that was in a braid.
Everything's fine. Would it be all right if I stayed with you two?
You see him, like, think about teasing, and then that idea gets quashed. Of course. But, there are only 2 beds. Which one of us are you gonna sleep with?
The silliest inversion of this trope I've ever seen.
Oh no, there's only 2 beds.
If there's one bed, it's no problem. It's just a big cuddle pile, but 2 makes it funny. Okay, no, there are 2 beds in here, just like this, like in the room that I was in.
Just hop in whichever one comforts you, Topaz.
That's not the right way to do this. We're supposed to talk through these things and have an agreement and
Essie, at this point, Essie is going to slowly turn his head with a bemused expression and just, why, Topaz, with all of your strength, I would have thought you could push the beds together.
I figured that they would be wise enough to see that too, as like Gwyn like goes back to the beds and then like leans against the wall and then just kicks a bed forward with one leg.
Why are you both ganging up on me? I could push the beds together, no problem.
Only if you'd like, Topaz.
I would much prefer that than to be forced to make a choice between the 2 of you.
I'm glad to know you hold me in the same eyes of in the same sight of a star.
You're teasing me so much, Gwyn.
You came here knowing exactly what the 2 of us would do. It's fine, Topaz. I will be merciful this evening. We all could use some rest before tomorrow.
I just don't blame me for being all flustered about this. I've never shared a bed with anyone like this before.
Please, if you think your heart's beating fast, he'll just like grab Topaz and pull them into his chest. Thump, 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 thump.
That's not okay. I'm sorry.
Sir Gwyn, any more of your teasing, and I think Mick Stoneheart is going to pass out.
I wasn't quite aware that I was teasing. I was being genuinely honest, but...
the result, I'm afraid, would be the same.
It's quite an effect we all have on each other.
Then, is everyone ready for that then?
I'm waiting for my turn with the brush.
At that, Essie looks at you and goes even slower.
I don't mind the sight, although I do need to be aware of our surroundings.
I mean...
I'm certain no one knows where Luella lives, so this should be safe, but...
Yes,
Well, most
from my
people don't.
understanding, Miss Stalwix keeps this place very close to her chest. I had a hell of a time trying to find information about it for the third trial.
She's a sly one.
Indeed.
Very protective of children, too.
And
Thanks
isn't it
such-
just delightful to see this other side of her?
I knew it was there. She just didn't want to show it.
I think she made it quite evident at times. I mean, that little sister with her favors in you.
I don't think she's ever cashing them in, if I had to be honest.
If she were, it would be to encourage you to be your best self. Or something motherly like that. She's a good sort.
She is, but I'd wager there's still quite a few tricks up her sleeve, so don't put your guard down just yet, Topaz.
I haven't... Oh.
Well, I believe I'm all finished. And give his absurdly long hair a big flip and hand the brush over to you, Gwyn.
Gwyn takes it and then begins using the vanity for a much, much shorter period of time in comparison to Acid.
But yeah, y'all can get ready for bed. Can have your cuddle puddle with the two beds pushed together.
No, there will be a puddle.
Hey, yo.
Why? Gwyn's actually gonna stay up for a little bit just to make sure things are safe, and assuming there's no other RP with him, you'll shift when it's time to go to bed for real, for real.
Sounds
He
good.
shifts into the monstrous form?
Yeah, because he basically keeps his talons and everything wrapped up the entire day. He needs to let it out, and he trusts you to.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
I didn't realize that he did that. Oh,
Yeah.
My heart.
just this big, like bird creature just
You big
grabbing
mush.
the two of them.
Wrapped around the two of them, yeah.
All right. Oleander, I believe you mentioned talking to Lavinia. I don't know if that's something you actually wanted to play out, or if just for brevity's sake, say that, it's arranged for Beetle to, have some sort of sleeping arrangements in the servants' quarters, carriage will be taken care of, horses stabled, yada yada.
Yeah. Yeah, for brevity, yeah.
Cool. Cool. As you and Damus are rooming together, Damus is, because y'all have, spent time in each other's rooms before, at Hollow Light, but this feels very different now in a new setting, and Damus is looking a little anxious, I suppose, is the word to use. His behavior. He sets his bag down. He doesn't unpack it. He loosens his tie, goes to the vanity, decides he doesn't like what he sees, walks away, tries to get, comfortable and ready for bed. But he's just kind of antsy.
Did I scare you too much today?
Oh, no, it's not that, it's just, yes, yes, it's very scary information, and everything about this is getting so big, and I don't know what to do or how to be helpful, and I'm now concerned that my being here is going to ruin everything, and I'm worried that I made the wrong choice, in not going back, and I'm sure that by now my master knows that I decided not to return, and so he's probably very upset, and I'm worried that he's going to come looking for me because he needs me, and him looking for me is going to lead him to you guys, and is going to lead him to Essie, and I think I may have made a muck of all of this.
Oleander kinda he goes over to Damus, puts his hair behind his ear, and gives this really soft smile. We need you here. I need you here. I wouldn't have been able to do this without you. And, well, I'm not 100% sure on anything. I believe with all my heart that Estelle, when she fell, saw something in you, and she gifted you her power. She, in her last moments, saw something in you and gifted you what was left of her. And everything might be a muck, but you're here with us, and we can get through this muck together. And even though we have so much to worry about, it calms me to know that you're here with us, and we're not giving Cassini an advantage or Cornelius an advantage, and I wouldn't have made it through those trials to be here without you.
You are... I think that you are entirely too good to me, Oleander. I won't lie that I'm incredibly frightened by everything that's going on and everything that will happen and might happen. And I'm scared of what my master will do when he finds me, but I do feel better being with you and knowing that you care.
Would it help you to know I'm incredibly frightened? But having you here with me eases that, but I'm very scared myself. I feel I've been so in the depths, trying to swim. And you can't come up for air when you're this deep, you can just keep going down. And it's really scary to be down here in this deep dark, but I have your hand in mine. And that's been really stabilizing.
Better to be afraid together, then.
Courage, I've heard, is not the lack of fear, but facing it head on. And we're going to be brave.
I've never needed to be brave before. I've simply lived underground my whole life. But I think with you, I could learn to be brave.
Don't worry, I'm still learning a little myself.
Do you think we have a chance to change things? We have the truth now, but what can we do with it?
Oleander heaves like a very heavy sigh. Kind of has this semi-sad smile, but also like it's sort of triumphant in its own way. First things first is that we need to get something a bit more concrete, and when you have a secret this big, there has to be something. There has to be a few larger bits laying around. You can't hide something like this forever. There has to be something that this man has left behind. Which is what I'm hoping we're going to find. And we have the Celestial Court. We have my father. We have enough backing to think, I think, to give us enough inertia to topple down an immortal. A man who thinks he's God. But he's just a man pretending. A man who once ate a star and now thinks he is one.
I hope there's still room for a good end to this story.
I think there is. Not for dear King Bastion, but for most, I think.
One day at a time, then.
Oleander caresses his cheek and smiles. If you don't think you can sleep in that bed, I do have a solution.
A solution?
Oleander, kind of rolls out, a little, he takes the comforter from off the bed and puts it onto the floor, and then he sits at the head and kind of, does a deer loaf and is like, I don't mind being used as a pillow every now and then.
Only if you're sure. I mean, if you would be more comfortable in a, if you'd be more comfortable elsewhere. I mean, there's two beds.
Only if you're not feeling comfortable enough to sleep in those beds.
He kind of approaches one of the mattresses and leans his hands down into it to, like, test its firmness, and stands back up to his full height and looks over at you and approaches you and sits down and leans against your side. I find these mattresses a little too soft anyways.
Oleander, like, gives this nice little sound, like, as long as you're comfortable.
He nods.
And Oleander gives, like, a smile, and, like, he can't really, like... Well, he can probably, like, Actually, no, I just think that's, like, a very nice way to end it.
Another
He just-
cuddle puddle for the collection. But yeah, you two,
That's what the trope's all about, baby.
that's what it's all about, baby. And they were 2 beds.
And we didn't use either
We
of them.
didn't use any of them.
Yeah, and I love
3
logic puzzles.
So many unused beds.
Luella, you are in of course, the master bedroom of the estate. It is much larger, it is grander. You've got your own ensuite bathroom, you know, and you get ready for bed. All is quiet. You know, you climb into bed, you drift off to sleep, and at some point during the night, the door opens. You can kind of hear it open in your half-awake stupor. And shortly after, you hear the rustling of your comforter. And soon, 2 pairs of very cold feet touch your legs. And you know that Eswol and Revelin have joined you for the night.
And she will wordlessly wrap her arms around them and hold them close.
They snuggle up to you, and cold feet and all. They love you dearly and hold you close.
And Luella loves them dearly.
And so, with that, my friends, we will pause for the night.
Thank you for the food.
You're so... Thank you guys for the food. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you had a fun time playing. I know I certainly did. For everyone watching, thank you so much for doing so. I hope you enjoyed watching our silly little shenanigans. We will not be playing on our regularly scheduled day, which is the 26th, as I will be out of town visiting family, so we will have to postpone until the next scheduled date will be December 10th, but we'll see. Scheduling is kind of up in the air at the moment. 'Tis the holiday season. People will be busy, people will be traveling, but I will post when our next game session is going to be, so please be sure to check that out either on my Discord or my Blue Sky account for the next Trial of Hearts date. But until then, my friends, have a very good night. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.
Bye.